Yo, what's up, everybody? Ciao, what's going on? All right, so look, you guys, I'm very, very excited for today. You guys know what's about to happen. We have, oh, he's already ready. He's already ready. We're going to jump right into it.
Nephew, what up, though?
What's going on, bro?
I'm slow motion. How you been?
I can't complain, bro. Living it, taking it all in.
Man, you doing some great work right now, brother. Some great work.
Thank you, brother.
Hey,
Listen, man.
not to mention your work on power too. You did great work on that too, brother.
Right. Hey, talk about that for a second, because I think for a lot of people, and I remember 50 saying this to me a while back, he was like, the transition going from young to old.
Sean to Don. From Sean to Don. You hear me? You went Sean Don on him. But to me, that was like, that showed a lot of growth as an actor to be able to play a son that was, sort of kind of naive, but not so much, but, just playing the role of a son that was learning and trying to figure it out,
Right.
as opposed to playing a grown man that had his own plan,
Right.
that knew what he wanted, that stood by what he wanted. So it's like you went from a kid to a man playing characters, and they're so diverse the way you doing it. Like, I damn near forgot you was Sean. I see you, and I was like, where I know this motherfucker from? I know I done seen him somewhere. And they say, cuz that's Sean from Power, cuz. It hit me just like that. You gotta know it.
Yo, and it's funny because, like I said, like 50 we were sitting in the car one time, and he said, "Bro, you tripping me out right now." And I was like, I said, "See, why you say that, man?" I said, "OG, why you say that?" He said, "Because I'm talking to you, and I'm literally talking to like one of my boys, and then they call action, and you're turning into my son right now." He said it tripped me out because we literally were just sitting there. He's like, "You do this whole little thing," but that's the process. Because I mean, for me, you're an artist,
right?
From so many different levels, from so many walks, and I think like even just downloading so much history and so much legacy on you, right? Just not even just as the man, but as the artist. It's like Snoop loves art. Snoop loves music of all kinds, and you know what that transition takes. So to have to live in that mental every day to tell a story, it was crazy, bro.
Right, but it helps you find what you are and who you are. Like, you fine tune now. Now you confident enough to know that whatever job you get after that is work. It's easy, and you love your job. It's not a job that you go to with attitude. I love my job. This is the job that I want to do every day of my life.
I'm so blessed. I mean, we come from an athlete background.
Right.
Like we have an athlete background, and at the end of the day, it was like, I look at a lot of my athlete friends and I'm like, man, I love the fact that you're so passionate about what you do, but I would not pick anything else in the world to do, because I get to play every day and be an artist every day and just jump into the bag. And even like with Don, that was a whole nother expectation of stuff that I didn't even know about.
And you know what? Don was a great man.
Yeah.
I actually was on Soul Train. I knew him,
93.
had a relationship with him, and he just was another level of a man. You know what I'm saying? As far as like the part of ownership, the part of having your own, the part of being, strong enough to say that I'm going to push the products to the people for my people, and I'm going to be the voice of the people. Like, that takes a whole lot to do that in the era where you see it was so much against him. Right now, it's so easy to do. But imagine in that era when you had all those other people and those fictions and factions against you that would stop you from getting to where you got to get to, but he still got there.
Yeah. No, I mean, talk about that, man, because I mean, I look at you not just as somebody who sets a precedent for me, speaks life into all of us as youth, but also just like is a trailblazer himself. And like the trials and the tribulations that you had to go through to pave the way for us today, that Don paved the way for you to step in and continue to mantelpiece. Like, talk about that, bro, because as I've unpacked Don, I learned so much more about that walk.
Right. Well, I think it's like it's a marathon, but it's like a marathon of not like a 440 relay, but like a 4 relay. So it don't have no time limit, or it don't have no cutoff. So we just keep passing the baton on to the next brother that's gonna run it and run it till can't nobody catch him, and he gonna pass it off to somebody else, and they gonna run with it till can't nobody catch them. And that's what we on right now. We're about spreading love exchanging game, being very, you know, face front with each other. And
Yep.
I love you, brother. I love you too. I love
Michael.
what you do. I'm
Yeah.
a fan. Like we have that in us now, to where it's no more, man, fuck what he doing. I don't.
Right.
It's like, no, we applaud each other. We
Right.
praise each other. So that way, it's a different kind of mentality that we breeding for the next generation of. We supposed to love each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. And you said that, like, I mean, look, I'll be honest. Like, it's like I went through a deep dive because I always just learned. Like my grandmother always taught best. If you sit down with anybody, you need to know their history, you need to know their story, and not
Right.
just music, but the person. And you talk about that so much, about like the love that translates from so many people when you interact with them. And that's genuinely how we connected, because it was like, bro, I love the show.
Right. And
So,
I told you, I'm like, I want to get at you. You like, well, what's
hey,
happening? Let's go talk about what's
hey,
happening.
and I'm gonna be honest, I went through and I was like, you said absolute, let's do it.
No question.
Done.
Because I see what you're doing, and I see what we do for each other when we do
Yeah.
things like this.
Yeah.
It's like it's an organic. Didn't no record companies call me, didn't no TV people call you. It was something that we did on our own. Like I researched you and found out who you was on Instagram because I love you as an actor, and I'm like, let me follow him. Matter of fact, let me slide off in his DM and let him know I really love the show and I'm a fan, so he can know. And then at the same time, I'm gonna push it on my own so he can know that y'all doing great work over there. You know what I'm saying? When BET does something great, we should praise them. We should applaud them. We should let them know that they're doing a great job so they can continue to do that.
Absolutely. And tell the stories that we want to see, and the stories that are indicative of our culture and our character and everything. Like you said, it was one of those moments where we are the collection of the people that push us forward. And truthfully, brother, that cosign to me, I told you, I said, coming from you, that means everything. Like, it's like, there's certain people you go, and I remember you said this in an interview when you got to sit down with some people like Farrakhan, like Ali, and like all these people.
Right.
Like, coming from you, that means everything.
That's a beautiful thing, brother, because that's what we do it for. Each one teach one, spread love, build an organization of brotherhood to where we can depend on each other. Even if you have a bad movie shoot, we supposed to be there for you. Bad, whatever, the way they try to make it seem like, because they said Harlem Nights was a terrible movie.
Right.
You hear what I'm saying? So it's like, you can't really rely off of them. We got to rely off of each other to praise each other. Spike Lee put out a movie, The Five Bloods. I went on and did the thing with him because I felt like that was a great, strong piece that needed to be talked about and expressed. So I went on with him to give him more exposure, more light. And we chopped up and became brotherhood, just like me and you doing. So this is what we got to do nowadays. We got to make sure that we support each other. And we saying that this is what it is and not what you think it is, but this is what it is.
Right, right. And genuinely passing that on and knowing that the work that you do. I remember when I did this movie with Angela Bassett last year, Otherhood. And that was like that moment where I said, okay, you're in the bag, kid. Like, you're supposed to be here for a while. It was like, all right, if AB loves your work and she says you can do it, then you can really do it.
Yeah, because that's like another confirmation stamp that you got. You know what I'm saying? To let you know that you're doing the right thing. And sometimes we be needing that. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't hear enough of it. They always tell us what we do wrong. When you gonna tell us what we did right?
Right. How did you find A Soul? That was what I was curious about, because you found it and you watched it and you showed love from the jump. You said, this is my new favorite show.
Well, when I seen the trailers coming up for it, I was waiting on it. I was anxious. You know what I'm saying? Just seeing the trailers, because they had did the Bobby Brown, the New Edition. They was on one. Everything was rolling. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, they acting bad. So I know this gonna be right. Then I seen Jesse's name. I seen certain names connected to it that I knew have that passion for creating something like this is. Right. And then once I tuned in, I was like, oh, that's done. Oh, this is really what it is. They going in depth. They showing the artists and then I seen one episode where Kelly Price and her daughter was singing. It went to some musical. It was like, oh my God, it was just the levels and layers of artistic, like the way y'all was shooting it, the way it was feeling. I felt like I was watching a musical, like I was watching a play, like I was watching real TV. It was like it was taking me on a roller coaster, and I needed that.
Yeah, especially during this time, man. And like for you, Don was a complex man. And that's why even when I asked the questions, I was like, man, I know the artist that had to have a relationship with Don to meet him behind the scenes. Because the biggest thing for me was as I unpacked the bag on him and I met, Tony Cornelius, his granddaughter, Christina Cornelius, Dolores Cornelius, like all of these different people. And then people that work for him, friends of his, they're like, yo, this is how Don really was. And you're telling the story authentically. So instantly when you said it, I was like, okay, what was Snoop's relationship with Don? Because I know that as much as he was a champion, he would challenge people to be their greatest self.
Right. He had me on his show. I did What's My Name on my first album.
Oh yeah.
And we had a little conversation on the side of the stage, and we was just chopping it up, and just the things that he said to me, as far as like he knew that I had that longevity. He knew that I had what I got now. All the things that I'm doing now, he's seen that. Because remember, he's seen them all.
Right.
He know the ones from the twos. You understand me? So basically what he was doing was telling me I was the one to keep my mind straight, because I was young and I was on death row and I was kind of like still involved with gangbanging. And he was trying to get me to understand that, you know, you're about to be a business, a musician, an artist, and you got potential. So learn how to separate. And just the love that he had for me, and the way he ran the show. He wasn't even the host no more. He was still there, like running everything, like every element of it, like whoop-de-whoop, whoop-de-whoop. When they cut, he's sitting back there watching the footage, the dancers, the this, like just watching this black man run an organization. We used to watch it from TV, but now to watch him in the huddle at practice, in the game, man, please.
Right. And you knew, like, when he, like you said, that was the caveat, if you will. Like, Don would really champion what he believed in, but the things that he didn't think were up to par, he had no problem saying that too.
And we needed, and around that era, that's when the old folks would tell the youngsters when they was wrong, and the youngsters would listen. You get what I'm saying? Because it was a thing called wisdom and respect. And your peers knew more. So if you knew better, you do better. And if somebody been here longer than you, they stronger than you. So shut up and listen. We had a lot of that in us, and they would tell us. But it just seemed like the generation now and then is completely different. They had a lot more love. They had a lot more, we don't care, we're going to tell you what it is. And now the generation now, well, it ain't my era. I ain't got nothing to say about it. And that's the difference between the ones who built the foundation and the ones who got to carry the foundation on.
Right, like yourself. I mean, like, you set the precedent for me, man. And that's why, like, again, I go back to the fact when you said, let's hop on, I was like, brother, whenever it works.
Yeah, because they need to know what you do, and then you direct too.
Yeah.
See, that's like, if you don't talk about it, we don't know about it. We just think they handing you a script and you doing Don King and rolling out. No, hold on, I'm putting this together, partner. The whole get down, you understand me? The script to the flip to the dip. This is me, man. That's why I look like this, because I'm shooting me. You hear me? You cold with it, dog. I love it. Teach me how to learn.
Hey, hey, keep paving the way, bro. I'll follow any day, because honestly, like, it made everything to me, because I think, like, everybody knows all the different levels of you from what they're blessed to see, what they're fortunate to see from the artist. But unpack the bag, the man, the heart, the humanity, the entrepreneurship, all of that, it really does resemble what Don was, and that belief system of, like, not only do I need to do it myself, or can I do it myself, but how to hire and find the right team and talent. And you speak about that all the time, which is like, you're not just you because of you, it's because of all the people that you believe you see light in to help champion that thing forward.
Teamwork. I've always been a quarterback, so I know how to put the right people around me, the right, people to play their role. I feel like when I'm great is when I got 9 people around me that's better than me. So if I'm the 10th and I'm the weakest link, oh man, we're going to do good.
We're going to do good. And if you're the 10th, then that means they already got an all-star team.
But see, that's what you got to know. See, a lot of people don't like that. They like being the aggressor or the oppressor in the room, or the one that's the most dominant. So they would say that I'm the strongest in the 10. But no, I want to be the weakest in the 10, because those 9 are going to get me stronger. They're going to sharpen me up, and they're going to make me better, because I'm the weak link of what's going on. But if I'm the strong point, then I may not be as enthused to practice or to do better. I may take it easy because I'm in that position. You get what I'm saying? So it's just a mentality that I took on years ago when I had the wrong people around me. When I had 9, negative energies around me, and I became more negative. But when then I start putting 4 positive people around me, it balanced a little bit. Then when I say, you know what, let me make everybody around me better than me, smarter than me, more positive than me, that do it better than me. So that way it makes me want to achieve more, as opposed to me just waking up being content with the position that I'm in. That's why I strive every day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, that's it's indicative of like how you said longevity. You know, I think for a lot of artists, the biggest thing that I always strive for, I always ask myself this question, even in this moment. I say, who was me before I got here and where did they go? Because I don't want to be them. I want to keep going. And the
Right.
ability
And I say
to,
that all the time. I can look at an old picture of me and be like, I don't know him no more.
wow.
But he helped me get here.
He did. He did. I mean, you
He helped
said,
me get here.
yeah. I mean, look at, like you said, like, I mean, obviously running down the whole legacy, 1993, Snoop's on Soul Train, right? They do the interview and they talk about like, what's your goals? And you talked about being a student of the game. I
On
remember
Soul Train?
you said it on Soul Train. You said being a student of the game. You said Dre taught me to be a student of the game so that I could diversify and continue to grow and not just be here for a moment. Something I'm paraphrasing that part, but you said being a student of the game.
That's crazy, because that just shows you, even as a youngster, I knew that I had to work on my craft.
Yeah.
And I had to study the ones before me. See, studying doesn't mean just listening and reading. It means studying the greats before you, so you can be better than them, or take a little piece of them and add on to their legacy and run the race further than they could run it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Who are your influences? Not just art music, but artistry, just of all kinds.
Wow. I truly, I love all forms of life. It could be from painters to musicians to architects to lawyers to people who speak well. I just have a love for originality and people that just stand out.
Yeah.
I have a love for people that don't mind being different,
Yeah.
that don't mind, setting a trend and taking a chance and living on the edge. And, it may not feel good to you, but it feel good to them. And if
Yeah.
it feel good to you, it must be good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. When did you start? Did you always live like that, or when did it click in? Like, okay, this is gonna be my authenticity. Because the
It
biggest thing,
came.
yeah.
It came to me. It came to me, brother. Like, being around Dr. Dre and the DOC and great artists at an early age, they were already seasoned. So like I said, I was a student, so I wanted to learn, and they were able to teach. Like, a lot of times, if you're a student, you don't get no teachings. You just someone who wants knowledge and you can't get it because there's not enough information to give to you. But
Yeah.
when you're a student and you're around people who can teach you and they love giving you information and you grow with that information, then you can become a great student and eventually a great teacher.
Being a sponge. Being a sponge. And look,
Yes,
everybody,
sir.
we're here talking about American soul. You guys, this needs no introduction. You guys know exactly who I'm talking to. You know what I'm talking about. And I'm excited to learn so much about this because this brother has really spoke life to me on so many levels. The American Soul comes on tonight. This is a conversation on soul.
I'm already T-bowing this shit, so whatever he talking about, I don't care. I'm getting it all in. Even after we finish talking, I'm gonna watch it again and again and again. You better catch up, quit being late. What episode y'all on?
I always say, like, it's funny because as people catch it, and I remember this from Power, the blessing is that when it becomes a show that gets word of mouth, it's like no pun intended, it's like a train leaving the station, and you just gain more and more and more and more momentum.
Yeah, and see, the beauty of the word of mouth is when it's good, you don't have to say nothing. For real. And that's the beauty that you feeling right now. It's like now you getting it, like, man, the show is where it need to be because now it's in the conversation.
Yeah.
It ain't about numbers. It's the conversation, because once they get there, the numbers going to come because they're going to watch it. They're going to keep watching it. They're going to be locked and loaded. They're going to know what's the story behind this artist. How did Don treat this person? What happened here? What was up with Dick Clark, American Bandstand, the whole nine? And I had a relationship with Dick Clark, too. That's even more crazy.
Hey, and so was he authentic when you saw him in the show? Is that how he rolled?
Dick Clark was, by the time I met Dick Clark, he was on Love with Everybody. Because let me tell you what he did for me. When my record came out, I was nominated for an American Music Award. And the American Music Award was on ABC. And at the time, I had a murder case that I was fighting. So ABC was like, Disney or whoever, whatever big company they was with, was like, nah, he can't come on the show because he got a murder case and blah, blah, this and that. Dick Clark went to bat and told them, Hold on. He ain't been found guilty. His music is the shit. I love him. We love him. The nigga coming on. He gonna win an award and he gonna perform. And Dick laid it out for me, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, God, this is some. And then he had a conversation with me about why he did it.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So maybe he had a moment in time where he was like, you know what, everything I've done in the past need to be, you know, reprimanded by the future by me learning the ins and outs of what it takes to be, you know, a great businessman and a great person. So I have nothing but great things to say about Dick Clark because he rode for Snoop Dogg when they didn't ride for me and got me on the American Music Awards. I won my award, performed, and I left.
And set the precedent for where it was, what was about to become the legacy for now.
You get what I'm saying? But somebody on their side somebody got to give you approval on their side too.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the American Soul story too. Remember, it's like, well, I want my own, but you got to get that.
Right.
You go, right. Elton John, one of them gonna have to come on in order for it to. It ain't gonna happen.
Right, right. And you could relate to that because you saw that in your own personal life. And
yes.
I'm always, absolutely, absolutely. But you've been authentic the whole way through. And I think that's the thing is like, what was the commitment to you to say, I'm gonna be me? And this is just me knowing you. And this is just me knowing you. But then even in just like unpacking like The Breakfast Club, unpacking like Live on Detroit when you're talking about your play, and that's really just like bearing it all. And you go, I'm gonna be authentic every single day. And that's what's gonna lead to the purpose.
The easiest thing for you and me to do is to do us.
Yeah.
The hardest thing for me to do is to do you. Now, if I'm an actor, I may get close. I may, you know, get similar, but I can't do you.
Yeah.
But as far as doing me, man, I wake up out of bed doing this shit easy. This is an easy thing. This is roll over and get it done.
And just get it done.
And once more people realize that and start to tune in and hone in on who they are and why God built them the way he built them, then we'll have more greatness in the world. We'll have more people being original and being who they are. That's what the foundation was built on. They loved Black because Black was different. Absolutely. Black had a different style, a different sound. And when you put him on screen, he looked different. When you put him in the movie, he looked different. When you put him on a record, he sound different. Black was different. It wasn't just like plain, it was different. So it's like, we're going to continue to be what we're going to be.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what you saw. If you remember the episode, I know you do, when Don was trying to pitch his show to a higher distributor. And he said, my kids don't watch it. And the kids were outside.
And the kids was outside dancing, doing the pop lock. The motherfuckers was out there routining. Then at the end of the episode, a little boy run up and say, hey, man, no, his daddy say, hey, come in here. Do y'all watch Soul Train? The nigga live right in front of his daddy. No. As soon as Don Cornelius leave, hey, Mr. Cornelius, can I have your autograph? Don should have said, fuck you and your daddy. Get the fuck out of my face. But I know y'all cleaned it up for TV and made him sign the autograph. But the real Don would have been like, fuck you and your daddy, you bitch-ass motherfucker.
That's you knowing the real man, because as many times I heard that, I remember when someone said, yeah, hey, listen, Don didn't play. He pulled you to the side and be like, get your ass out of here right now.
He had no play in it. He like your granddaddy, like your mean-ass uncle. He was like that, but he meant what he said because he meant business. Like, and you have to respect. When you look at what he built, how you gonna fight somebody that built this from nothing, man?
Yeah.
He know what he talking about.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, that's the thing is, like, I saw that as I remember this, and I always talk about this when I sat down with Tony Cornelius. And I know you sat down with Tony.
Yes,
and I said, TC was like, yeah, man, you know, he started talking real smooth. He said, yeah, man, I really felt like you had the essence in the room, and I thought you was going to bring it to the table. And I started watching his mannerisms. He's like, what are you doing? I said, well, look, man, if you are your father's son, then you are only going to replicate the original image. So I'm going to steal everything from you, and that's going to be my gateway. So I remember I had this image of Tony being cool as a fan, but ready to just listen and give just wisdom. And I had this one image where I saw Don when he was walking off set, and something happened off set that was not on the camera of Soul Train. This was in the original season. He looks off, and right before he steps off stage, he drops his eyes like that. And he has a frown on his face. I said, oh, that's the man. He was about to check somebody right there.
Mm-hmm. That's enough. That's enough, that look. You know that look. Your mom used to give that look from across the table when you acting a fool.
Wait till we get outside.
Wait till we get home. I'm beating your ass. Don't forget to remind me to whip your ass when we get home. I got to remind you?
I'm not going to remind you of that, man.
I'm going to bed.
Nah, man. I mean, like, so you. I mean, obviously, authenticity. You know, because your cosign is everything. Authenticity to the '70s, and I know the '70s is one of your favorite eras in
Man,
music.
quit playing. You remember some of my first videos, Doggy Dog World, where I had Fred
Yo,
Williamson, I had
yo,
Pam Grier, Huggy Bear, Brian
yo.
O'Neill, Rudy Ray Moore. I had all of the greats that was still alive. I had all of them in my video that we shot as an homage to the '70s as a throwback, Doggy Dog World, and I had the dramatics singing in the video because that's what that era meant to me. I grew up in the '70s, so my thing was when I get in, I'm gonna touch the era that meant the most to me, but I want to do it with them. If they still alive, go get them and let's bring them back to life.
Yeah, yeah, and you did that, and that's why, like, even when I saw that you loved the show, I was like, that's why I said again, I was like, that's the cosign because I know the music. You know, a lot of people.
Every Saturday, Soul Train used to come on, my brother, and every Saturday we would race to the TV to
Yeah,
sit in front of that motherfucker for 2 hours to watch Soul Train and to watch them commercials and the dance. And I'm talking about, and then when it was over, we going outside doing the new moves and
and the
trying
dancing.
it out. Like, what's happening?
That's what everybody has told me when they come up to me in the street and they're like, yo, man, Don, Soul Train, listen, I want you to understand, Saturday morning when I was watching, and it's not a color thing. And I remember you saying this about music, and you said music will connect every race because music is transcendental. And Soul Train being so based in music, I've had so many people, different colors, different walks of life, come up to me and be like, American Soul, Soul Train. Saturday morning, Don was the coolest man on the planet. If I went back to school Monday and I didn't know the dance,
You in trouble.
You couldn't talk.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like it was that rooted in the community to where it's certain things we watched on Saturday. We definitely watched cartoons, Fat Albert and all that got it in, Popeye and all them. But when that damn Soul Train came on,
and the
knock
dancers
it off.
Knock
it off. We going nowhere. We watching all the commercials, Afro Sheen, Stay Soft Fro. Quit playing, man. Jet Magazine, Ebony. It's all black for the next 2 hours. Every commercial is Johnson & Johnson and everything is black on black. You hear me?
And KFC, that was it.
Come on, but see, that's the beauty of like, come on, man. Like that was our channel and our show and it was our people and it was us expressing us to where it looked at professional. Even the way Don walked out there and talked and held the mic and conversed with the artists and was so cool and slick. And then they clapping and going to another song and then they break away to the dancing and Soul Train line. Come on, man, that was too much, man.
No, it was so much to unpack because I always tell people like my Soul Train was Maestro Clark and Shamar.
Right.
Like that when I first got Soul Train was in, and then Don was like the cat that you just knew was like the OG, the legacy, the Godfather standing over everything.
Man, he was on set with them when they was working. That's what you gotta know. Like they wasn't there, buddy. That nigga was right there, like
telling them.
Directing them, the dancers. Like I went on the show when Shamar was the host. Now you know I got hits. I made hits from year to year to year to year. So I was on when Shamar was on. You understand me? That's probably like my second or third record. But Don was there running the show. That's when he had his legs crossed on the director's chair, pointing and doing everything and cut. Wait a minute, hold on. Get them, do that, blah, 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 blah. All right, now action. Like he was that man.
And that's why I said, that's literally why I said from you, because I know how many times you did it because obviously, like I know, like there's a lot of people, and I know you met with so many people in the entertainment industry, so you know gas when you feel it. You know gas when you feel it. And when we talk, it was just heartfelt. I said, bro, listen, this is something that like as a kid growing up to now as a man, just to think about all the influence that you had on me in music and just culture and just seeing like that was a representation. Like even like you said, we went out and watched Soul Train. I remember my friends when we was on the block and when your albums came out, it was like if you didn't know at least 3 songs by Tuesday, word for word, don't talk. Fact.
The gospel. But watch this. Let me tell you this part. Let me tell you what Don did that he don't get no credit for. Don let me and Dr. Dre bring a lowrider on stage at the Soul Train Awards.
I remember.
The lowrider was the first of its kind. They was like, it's gonna break the stage. You can't bring a real car out here. You should bring a replica or without the. Don was like, fuck that. Them niggas want to bring a 6'4" Chevrolet. Reinforce the motherfucking stage. Stop making excuses, nigga. Put some metal up under that stage so it's reinforced because Dr. Dre want to hit the switch on this son of a bitch. We came out, Dr. Dre popped the switch on that motherfucker. Whap, whap, whap. All of a sudden, stopped it. I jumped out that motherfucker, put my hands up like a king, nigga. The crowd went crazy. It said, and now our national anthem. 1, 2, 3, until the 4. Nigga, that motherfucker was bang.
Yeah. I remember you
Don sitting in the front row. That nigga sitting in the front row like this, like, yeah, this is my creation, nigga. Yeah.
And artists are everything. He said the artists are what make it. We actually have a line in the show where we actually say that. We say the artists are what make the show and the artists are what make us. Without them, we're nothing.
Dog, let me give you this real quick. I've been nominated for 18 Grammys. Ain't won none. I got 2 Soul Train Awards. Fuck the Grammys.
Facts.
Now.
Facts.
Now.
That's love. Yeah. I didn't even know that.
Now.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. That's how many times they didn't play with me, but Don didn't play no games, nigga. Don handed it over immediately. This yours. Here you go. Anita Baker right there with me taking a flick when I win my first Soul Train Award. You dig? With Anita Baker.
Yeah.
Give a fuck about no Grammys. Y'all wasn't going to have nobody like that there. He had all the greats at the Soul Train Award that you want to see. So even if you don't win, you seeing the greats.
Yeah, he always did it. He always, and that's the thing that I learned and I unpacked was because he did that all the time. He spoke about that authenticity all the time. You know what I mean?
And you plan him, brother. You plan him well. You doing an amazing job. When you put that afro on and them bell bottoms, you turning the dime, my brother. You didn't. I don't know if it's the pants or the afro, but you dime when you turn in.
You believe it? Hey, look, and I remember.
I believe it.
Dog, I mean, you know Robbie Reed, the great cast director Robbie Reed cast a lot.
Yes, Robbie's amazing. She's the one, not the two.
Robbie was the one who was like, you're going to play this character. And I remember originally being like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to do the character justice. And then Robbie called me on a Monday and said, so have you thought about it? I said, yeah, no, Robbie, I don't know. She goes, oh, okay, cool. Then she called me on a Tuesday. She said, how you feeling? I said, I don't know. And Robbie, I'm still thinking about it. Then she called me on a Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Right? I said, Robbie, I don't think it's for me. I said, I don't think it's for me. She said, oh, okay. And called me back on Thursday. And I was like, well, all right. All right.
Yeah, when she calling back to back to back, come on, man. That she got better things to do. So that must mean you playing games. Take the role, man.
Listen. I mean, when you, like you said, like when God has something for you, when he knows your call, when he knows what's right for you. I talk about this all the time. You can say no as many times as you want, but he going to wake you up and say, that's cool. I'm going to be back tomorrow. And I'm so grateful to her for allowing me to step into those shoes and use as a vessel to say, like, this is yours. Because not only did you, like you said in the beginning of the convo, the amount that I've learned, the confidence that I've gained as an actor to tell so many stories is like the cosign upon cosigns.
Yeah, because the confidence is key. Once you adapt that confidence, you can be anybody, you can do anything. You don't go into the room hoping for the job. You go into the room taking the job.
Right.
I ain't never did no audition. I didn't get it. I don't do auditions. You understand me? And that's just, I mean, you can call it egotistical. You can call it what you want. I don't do auditions. Nigga, what's the role? That's mine. I'm taking that. Who you got on the, who on the wall? You got this actor. Snatch that shit off the wall. They can't do what I do. Now watch out now.
That's facts. And I'm coming in here to take it. And most
yeah, it ain't about them. It's about me. It don't got nothing to do with you. It's about me. I'm this prepared for this character the way you can't tell me no.
Right. Authenticity. Truth.
Righteous. Yeah. I'm gonna know the lines. I'm gonna bring my flavor to the table, and then at the same time, I'm gonna bring something to this character that paper can't do.
Correct. Student of the game.
Hello.
But hey, so what character would you play? Because I know we talked about it. You was like, I love this show. I want to be on the show, and I was geeked. I said, okay, let's get it. What character?
First of all, he gotta be a player. He gotta be a Rick James type of player, somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? Because Rick James was a personal friend of mine. When he first got out, he called me up to go to the studio with him. You understand me? Me, him, and Bobby Womack. And I felt honored to get a call from Slick Rick to meet him at the studio with Bobby Womack at Michael Jackson's studio. You hear me?
Yeah.
So, you know, and the way Rick James moved, we moved similar. Like, not physically, but I mean, just the way his mentality was, the way he attacked music, the way he had strong people around him. He had great women that he could produce, and just how he changed Motown. What motherfuckers don't know is Motown was dead. And he brought that shit back to life. with that funk and all that other stuff, because the Motown era had passed by and it was a new era moving forward. So Rick was different and he was real and he wasn't like them. He wasn't as clean as the Motown singer. He was smoking weed. He had bitches. He had braids in his hair. He said what he wanted. You get what I'm saying? So it was like it was a different cut. But he was a Detroit nigga. The Motown was built in Detroit.
Yeah.
Everybody wasn't clean, baby, and all that. Some of them was gangbanging and you know, street. So Rick was the expression to take Motown over the hump, if you ask me, because we got back in tune with Motown because of Rick.
Yeah. And you said that was the inspiration for you to find to keep your authenticity, not to find, but to keep.
Yes, because he stayed Rick James. He stayed Rick from the moment he came in to the last time you seen him on stage at the awards, the Soul Train Awards, when he told the motherfucker, somebody came up to me backstage and said something, bitch, I'm Rick James. And he left. I said, oh, that was cold. And that's at the Soul Train Awards. You hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
The only place that would have our greatness.
Yes.
Be as great as they could be.
Yes.
See what I'm saying? Like, that platform means a lot. Then the Lady of Soul Awards, where Don looked out for the females, like, hold on, let me take care of y'all too. Come on, brother.
Yes. Yes. The excellence of for us, by us.
To know I got to set the trailblazers to let, we can have our own award show. We can have our own award show dedicated to Black women. We can have our own award show dedicated to what we do. We just got to do it. Stop talking about it and be about it.
Yes. Yeah. And do it. Like you said, take the action. And I think that's the biggest thing that I always think about as an artist is creating lanes and navigation for yourself. And I say this just like, again, looking at all the facets, right? And we haven't even unpacked that. And we can pack that like days and days and days, is the ability to create lanes for ourselves using our artistry as our power. And knowing what we bring to the table. Like you, like people, I think people know, but I'm gonna educate them again. Movies, music, plays, documentaries. You've done all of it successfully. All of it. And that's keeping authenticity to artistry. And you just do that because you just say, like, this is who I gotta be, or you just always knew that to be true?
I think you grow into finding out how to master yourself. And anytime you're searching for greatness and you're studying, the key to everything is to master yourself. And once you master yourself, then you can be the best you at all times, and you can give people different versions of you based upon what's needed and what's necessary. And once I learned to master the greatness of Snoop Dogg, which is a love, my mama taught me how to love. She raised me to love people. She raised me to be real, to be soulful, to be a powerful individual. So that's who I am, and that's who I've become to be because I've learned to master every trait that it comes to being Snoop Dogg.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's real. That's real on so many levels of just like tapping into young artists and the advice to give the young artists. Because we're in an era where it's talking about passing on and then lifting us up. And I always talk about being active activists, active activism for ourselves, for the community, representing everybody. And I think specifically for artists of color, it's that thing of saying, own yourself so that you can authentically walk that in the room every day. And I would say this in learning from your conversation, when I tapped into Sinquat is when I was able to deliver more diversity to characters.
That's deep.
That like,
so that means the character is not driving the character, you're driving the character.
Yes.
Always in control, my brother. That's the key. Because sometimes we find ourselves, we can lose control by being that character and taking that character off screen with us. And then it becomes a disaster. Because it can happen, because there's been times where I played, like when I played Baby Boy, a character in Baby Boy, I had to be that nigga all the time. And, you know, it was rubbing off on me because I was like, damn, I'm really acting like this nigga off screen. Let me, John, when we done shooting this motherfucker, you got me acting a fool. Nigga, I need to go back to being cool with kids. Kids are scared of me and shit now. What's going on? Nigga, you got me fucked up. But it's because I became engulfed in the role and I wanted to be that. Like, I was working with John Singleton, nigga. I was like, hold on. I'm finna get this nigga all of what he looking for and then some.
Yeah, that was like, I mean, for me, that was like I said, like 2 summers ago when I had to shoot the movie with Angela. And I remember my agent, you know, you got that call where it's like, do not show up not prepared. By the first rehearsal, I was completely off book on the whole script, playing like I was just finding the lines. Because I was like, oh, I'm over prepared. Because they said, you're going to be in a scene with Angela Bassett. So, okay. I was
Right.
like, okay.
Now.
I'm sitting there like this. Oh, you guys need me? Okay, yeah, cool. Rehearsal? No, I'm fine. The whole time they're like, "You good?" I was like, "I'm straight. Just let me know when y'all need me because
Studious.
I'm opportunity."
Yes, sir.
You
And
know what I'm saying?
it rubbed her the right way too, because she seen your ethic.
Yeah.
And one
And
thing about professionals and people that's geniuses and legends in the game, we recognize work ethic first.
absolutely, brother.
That trumps talent. Fuck your
Absolutely.
talent. What's your work ethic like?
Absolutely.
Because everybody got talent, but everybody
And
don't know how to, get to it and stay on top of it and hone it and have a work ethic that keeps them on top. So that's what we looking for. We're not looking for the most talented. We're looking for the most hungriest, the one who works the best, who on time knows the lines and this and that and that and that. We're like, boy, that boy got something. He different. See how you went from that to directing? Like, that's a big ass leap. Like, I directed a few things, but nigga, I didn't really direct. I had a nigga that was doing it, and I was like, you do this, and nigga, you really directing. You know what I'm talking about?
bro, it's like once you find that love, like you said about just like what we do in like your music, it's like once you find that love, you want to be immersed in everything. And I was like, okay, how can I be here? Like I said, who was me before I got here, and where did they go? Because I don't want to be them. So my heroes changed. You know what I mean? My inspiration changed, my motivation changed. So I had to go back to the bag and educate myself so that I can make sure that I could walk into it effectively. You know, so I started
What do you
all those cats.
what do you think about that era that makes people love the 70s? That you're playing it, that you're in, that you heavy entwined in now. What do you think about?
I think number one, the authenticity. I think you could see people when you would specifically on Soul Train, when you turned on the dial and you saw everybody living, grooving, and moving and being free. You know, that was a time of political oppression, cultural oppression, social oppression. And this is one of the few outlets where people could express themselves completely through music.
Right.
They feeling, loving, accepting people from all walks of life and all colors. So why they loved it? Because of the ability to be free. Yeah.
That's heavy, because we didn't even know why we loved it. We just loved it as kids. Like, as
Yeah.
from kids to teenagers to an adult to when I went to jail. And nigga, we was in jail waiting on Saturdays to watch that shit. It would be a big ass fight if somebody that wasn't black would change that motherfucking channel from channel 5. If you move that motherfucking channel from channel 5 to anything else from motherfucking 10 to 12, we beating your ass. Don't you fuck with Soul Train. I'm serious. There's been many fights that then jumped off behind somebody changing the motherfucking channel when Soul Train was on.
Yeah.
I'm serious, cuz I'm
Yeah.
not making this shit up.
I believe, like, look, so we gotta find you that character. We gotta find you that player. That's
Find it. Take your time. Ain't no rush. Take your time and find somebody that fits the MO to where I can go on there and do my thing. Cause the fucking big boy as George Clinton.
Yeah.
And my boy Darius as fucking James Brown.
Man, talk about that. Talk about Darius.
Come on, nigga. That nigga was talking like James Brown. That nigga said, I said, cut, nigga. I had a 3-hour conversation with James Brown in my house one night. So to see the mannerism and the way he would stop and talk and pause, that motherfucker Darius was on his ass.
Yeah. Yes.
And then when I first heard Big Boy say something, I didn't even look at the screen. I just think his back was turned, and he said something, and this tone of his voice was like George Clinton, with the deepness of how George talks. And I was like, oh my God, this nigga playing George Clinton? Oh man, I'm hating, but I'm loving it. Because I'm like, this is my Funk Brothers. You know what I'm saying? I'm loving it. I'm like, oh, why y'all didn't cut me in or cut it out? I gotta tell these niggas I love this show, man. This shit is too much. I need to be in.
Yeah, when you said it, I said, you saw when we was talking about it, I said, what? Yeah, absolutely. I'm hitting everybody. What? No.
But that's what it makes me feel like. That's what it makes us feel like, to where it's a show that makes you want to be a part of it. Like, this ain't a show where you want to bash it and talk bad about it, man. Their hair ain't right, the outfits ain't right. No, this shit is right, nigga. Their hair is right, the outfit's right, the acting is right, the dancing, the emotion, the spirit. I want to be on this show. See, when it go from I want to be on this show, that's when the motherfucker good.
Right. And I remember when I even with this script, but I also remember even like talking about power. It was like, I remember having a conversation with Courtney Kemp, who created the show, along with 50.
Yes.
And I remember we had a deep conversation. And she called me just kind of like messing with me. She was like, so what do you think about the script? I said, listen, I read it. I love it. Like, I had the audition. I did my thing. And I said, even if you do not cast me, I'm still going to watch this show.
Mm.
I remember when I read this script, I read one episode and I was like, ooh, this is good. I read part 2 and I was like, even if I'm not on this show,
I'm peeping it out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's how everybody else feels. So
yeah.
look at what you just said, and then think about us as just regular people that's thumbing through the channels. We got a whole lot of channels. We got streaming platforms to choose from. But we just so happen to give BET that benefit of the doubt because that's BET. We go on there, we see a trailer that say American Soul. We're like, oh, they doing something for Don King. Then we fuck around, push Tebow, and we don't watch the first episode. But when the second one come on, nigga, like, hold on, I gotta go back. Then before you know it, you did 9 hours in this motherfucker locked and watching them one season. Like, oh, I got shit to do. I'm tripping, cuz. They got me locked up in there watching Soul Train, cuz.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great. That's greatness. That when you could take us out of our element and make us tune in and then compliment and praise and then say we want to be a part of, you did your job.
Yeah. And that's why I say shout out to, you mentioned the hair, you mentioned like our wardrobe department, our hair department, our set decoration. These people are award winners. As much as people fall in love with like Don and the other actors on the show and that are created, you know
it's that behind the scenes, the set, the man, the wardrobe, the set, the lights, the hair, all of that, man, to make sure it's authentic to that era, from the shoes to the naturals being picked out to the makeup they didn't wear, to the way the girls had their shirts twisted up, to the way the brothers wore their pants tights with bell bottoms on the bottom. Like, all that shit matters. It can't be no nigga in there with no shoes from the 1980s talking about we shooting a movie from the 70s.
You can't. And I mean, hair department, excuse me, I say our wardrobe department, Rita and Aaliyah, they would come through, and I'm talking like match for match, colors, fabric, everything. Our hair department, they would have afro checks. Like I would be walking, and it was like an afro team. Shout out to my man Jason, because he literally would come through and be like, hold up, pop, pop, pop. Pop,
yeah,
pop,
we used to have to put our net. We had to put our net on it, lay it down, spread that afro sheen, shape it out, pick the edges, tuck them in real tight, and then it's like it's a cuff you got to do. See, I had an afro, so I understand. You got to cuff it. You got to cuff both edges, and then cuff the back, so that way when you walk it, and all of a sudden it's just gonna sit, it's just gonna lay down like. And an afro sheen with that shine, my God, they just don't make it like they used to.
But listen, bro, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you so much for the love, for the support, for the wisdom on everything, for the love for American Soul, for the wisdom you've given to me. I will ask and say the advice that you would give to me, then the advice that you would give all the people coming up under you to say as artists, how to continue to move and how to move forward.
I think the best thing to do is, like I said earlier, study, learn who you are, master the craft on being the best you that you can be. Study the greats before you, whatever field that you're in. Study their greatness and see what their struggle was and what their achievements were, so you can have a little bit of insight on what it takes to be great. And then you also want to be courteous and kind to people. You want to be loved, because you never know who you're going to meet going up. You may meet them on the way down. You may meet them on the way back up. This industry is full of ups and downs. I done been down more than I've been up, but you can't tell because I always keep myself up.
Swag.
I love you, brother.
I love you, bro. I appreciate you so much. Hey, guys, American Soul is on right now. This conversation ran over because it had to. Check us out. Show us love. You know who I'm talking to. You know the cosigns of Conversation on Soul. American Soul is on right now.
Thank you. You a hell of a brother, man. Great work. Keep directing your ass off. I look forward to working with you one day soon. Whether it's on this show or something in the future, we definitely need to make something happen.
Let's go.
Appreciate you, brother.
Love you, bro.
Love you back.